We appreciate you all joining us today and having such enthusiasm for this upcoming advocacy event. While, as folks are still kind of hopping on and getting settled, we just ask throughout this that you do stay muted. But if you have any questions or comments, please drop those in the chat and we'll do our best to respond to those, if not follow up and share information through the follow-up email. We are recording this, and so we'll be sending it out from our YouTube page and sharing it on our social media so that if folks who weren't able to join us today, please share it with them so they have all that they need to know for next week. And we can't believe that Children's Advocacy Week is coming up next week. We knew it was going to come up quick and we're like, wow, it's here. So we are excited and eager for the day. It's like we still have some folks jumping on, so I'll wait just maybe one more minute here. All right. So good to see some familiar faces too. All right. Well, thank you all. And thanks for all of the messages in the chat. It's great to see so many new folks and folks who've been in this with us for many, many years. So just a reminder, Children's Advocacy Day began in 2004. So we're coming up on 20 years almost, which is amazing, as an effort to unite advocates like you all from across the state and, raise the voices of children on children's safety, health, education, economic well-being, and make sure our state legislators and other elected officials, can hear from those kids, hear from their advocates directly at the Capitol. So, each year we have hundreds of advocates who gather at the Capitol and have at the rally and to promote the Blueprint for Kentucky's Children priorities. And, we shifted a couple of years ago during, the pandemic from having just a day at the Capitol to a whole week of events. And we have kind of sustained that change for this year as well, but kind of in a hybrid fashion. So, as you've seen through our promotion, we have a mixture of virtual and an in-person day on Wednesday, February 8th. So we'll get into that in just a minute. First, I just wanted to say, thank you to our many, many sponsors this year. We have our signature sponsor, Aetna Better Health of Kentucky, and our presenting sponsors, 7 County Services and Save the Children, and then many of our partner sponsors, many who are joining us today. We appreciate you all who make this event possible for us. This is my 9th Children's Advocacy Day and with Kentucky Youth Advocates, which is wild to think about, and it's still energizing. Each year it's tiring to prepare for, but it is so energizing to be part of, and excited to especially be back in Frankfort this year to be in the Capitol building and raising our voices for kids. So we appreciate you all, and we of course appreciate our many Blueprint partners who are joining us and who play a role in building out that policy agenda and advocacy in Frankfort each year. So we're today going to be sharing kind of an overview of the week and what to expect for those events. We're going to kind of give you a preview of some of the Blueprint bills that are already filed and what to kind of be looking for, and then kind of some tips to make sure you're prepared for the week and then for the rest of sessions. So before we kind of dive into Children's Advocacy Week, I do want to turn it over to Shannon real quick to kind of give us a preview of what's happening in Frankfort and kind of what advocates should be aware of going into next week. Shannon?
Thanks so much, Mara. So I'm Shannon Moody with Kentucky Youth Advocates. I oversee our policy and strategic initiatives work, and I am really excited about this session. This is actually my first session back into the policy work full on. So I'm really excited about the potential here. Just some reminders about this 2023 legislative session and General Assembly. We are looking ahead at a short session. It's a 30-day session. So the state budget isn't the focus this year. And often those 30-day sessions are really used for cleanup and sometimes introducing new items that are kind of on a smaller scale. In recent years, especially in 30-day sessions, we have seen that kind of be modified with the pandemic and the budget being open for short sessions and things like that. But I think legislators this year are really looking forward to a traditional 30-day session. We are really excited about Children's Advocacy Week because even whether it's short session or longer, a 60-day session, it's really important for kids to have a voice in Frankfurt. And we know that kids don't vote. So we need to be up there talking to our legislators about decisions that they make and how they impact kids, this session and every session to come. So just a couple of things to keep in mind. And I think my colleagues will also just be dropping things into the chat as well for your reference. But just a quick reminder that there will be information about policy priorities in the Blueprint for Kentucky's Children information session on Tuesday next week. Of Children's Advocacy Week, where we'll be going through and talking about a little bit more in depth what those priorities are for the 2023 session. So you'll be hearing from my colleagues and advocates who are interested in working those specific items. So just as a reminder, and as we're talking about bills and what we anticipate seeing this year in the 30-day session, we have obviously a bill process, right? So I don't know if you all recall seeing in kindergarten how a bill becomes a law. I'm just a bill on Schoolhouse Rock. I've actually taught students about the bill process with that tool. You all are experienced and know the process, but just as a reminder, our state senators and representatives will file bills and they have to advance those through the assigned committees. And then each chamber, once it gets through committee, each chamber then votes on it and it goes to the other respective chamber. So it's a couple of step process. It can be a very fast process depending on how motivated a legislator is to move things through quickly. And sometimes things can stall out before they ever even get assigned a committee. So it really just depends. And you'll see that on our bill tracker on KYA's website as well to kind of look at the processes for some of the bills that we're following. But as a reminder, before a bill even starts to move, it needs to be assigned to a committee. Typically, the committee chair, the person who's overseeing the committee, is the one who's really making the calls on that. So having those committee chair relationships can be really important. But that process, there are points along the way where an advocate can get involved at each step and reach out to legislators and talk to them about supporting certain bills, whether it's as an individual and you're reaching out to your particular legislator as their constituent, or if you are engaged in lobbying activities, that would be an opportunity to reach out to other legislators. I think probably by far and away, we've got a lot of folks who are advocates, not necessarily lobbying, and that's great. And those things look different. But what we want to remind folks is that regardless of where you're coming from and who you're representing, whether that's you as an individual or organizations, there are a lot of different ways to get involved and educate around these options. So I had mentioned the bill tracker on Kentucky Youth Advocates website. We have 2 items already from the blueprint that are being tracked on the website. House Bill 21, which would update Kentucky's homeless ID law to allow unaccompanied homeless youth to get an ID without parental permission. There's a lot of activation around this. We know it's really important for our young people to have access to an ID, especially ideally at no cost, if at all possible, in order for them to navigate systems in order to get access to services. So House Bill 21, we're really excited about that being filed. I believe it's Representative Bridges who's filed that. And then the other one, which we saw last year, and we're really excited to see again this year as a priority, is House Bill 93, which is Representatives Kulkarni and Heverin. And they are kind of tag teaming this one again. It's around survivors of intimate partner violence. sexual assault and stalking, and creating opportunities to access unemployment insurance benefits if the reason for not working is directly related to those issues. So this is present, I think, in 36 other states. We're trying to get Kentucky moved into to being a 37th state, if at all possible. And also it allows for some stability for our survivors of intimate partner violence to get access to those different supports, especially unemployment insurance. So just another item to consider. If you are interested in getting kind of more in the weeds on any of the Blueprint policies, we will be having a weekly call for advocates on Fridays at 2 p.m. The first one is actually this coming Friday, February 3rd. And I believe that my colleagues will either be dropping in a registration link and then also following up with that. But if you're interested in joining that for our Blueprint partners, y'all should come and listen in. And then also it's an opportunity for our advocates to talk about what they are seeing, what they are hearing, things that they are attempting to support and address. That's just an opportunity for us all to get in alignment. And then just as a reminder, next week and then in the following weeks, it doesn't have to be next week, but ideally, make sure that you're setting up meetings with your legislators. You can request a virtual meeting. We've got a lot of legislators who are still doing that. It's easy for them. You can either call or email to set that up. And then also, if you are there in person in Frankfurt, that's also another really good time to set up an opportunity to meet with them and talk through the items on the blueprint or other items that you're really interested in being involved in or having them support. If you need if you need those fact sheets, they'll be up on our website. If you need talking points, please feel free to reach out too. We're always happy to get folks the information that they need in order to be well informed to communicate that. So I think I'm passing it over to Mara, back to Mara to take the next part.
Yeah, thanks, Shannon. And yeah, just kind of a reminder that the bill tracker with those two bills, those blueprint priorities, that is live, and that will continue to be updated throughout the session as additional, hopefully, blueprint items get filed and other bills that are good for kids that we're tracking and want our advocates to be aware of. And that will be, if you pin that page, it's a good resource to be able to kind of reference back to see where bills stand and how you can take action on those, whether they're stalled in a process or to reach out and, say thanks. So thanks, Shannon, for that update. So now we're going to dive into Children's Advocacy Week, what we're here for. So Kelsey's going to be sharing her screen so that we can more easily show you kind of where to access this information on our website. And we hope that, here we go. Okay. So, here's, when you come to our website and you see our slider there at the top for Children's Advocacy Week's webpage, I'm sure you all have become familiarized with this page, but we wanted to kind of walk through where you can best access the information, including, the schedule for the week, how to find links to tune in for meetings and all of that. So, here first, I'm sure you all are already signed up, but if not, please sign up for the update emails. We will be sending those weekly next week so that advocates kind of have a preview for the day, have the links they need, and we can be able to share if there's been any changes that, folks need to be aware of. So first, if we want to scroll down, so you'll see resources here, and then right down here, we have the schedule of events. So I want to kind of run through those before kind of going through the resources, just so you guys have a good preview of what to expect next week. So, we have, like I said, a mix of virtual events throughout the week, and then our in-person day on Wednesday, February 8th. So Monday, we are excited to be kicking off Children's Advocacy Week through a Facebook Live. So you can tune in through KYA's Facebook page. And we will be joined for that kickoff event with the Lieutenant Governor, and that will be at 11 a.m. So please tune in for that. We're excited to have her join us for that and to just kind of, get us excited and ready for the week and all that it entails. And then at noon on Monday, we will be having our Kids Count Lunch and Learn. So, each fall, KYA puts out the county data book with the latest trends at the county level on child well-being and health, education, economic security, and family and community. And so that event is an opportunity for you to tune in, hear a presentation on those state data trends, and then some, policy solutions and other recommendations that align with those to help kind of guide our advocacy throughout the week. And you can sign up there because that will be via Zoom. And, to prepare for that, check out on our website, the Kids Count page. We have the books on there and where you can kind of look up your county profile and all of that. So I'm really excited about that event. And then later that day on Monday, we did this last year as part of our Children's Advocacy Week events, where we have an advocate networking coffee break. So it's kind of an opportunity to just kind of connect with your fellow advocates from across the state. We will offer, if there's any questions from folks, we want to kind of be a resource for you all as advocates during that time, and just offer a break too from, the craziness, to be able to just connect and share any feedback with us throughout the week during those times. We will have 2 offerings of that, one on Monday and one on Thursday. So there's a registration link there to be able to tune in for that, which is via Zoom as well. Then we move on to Tuesday, which is very much our policy focused day. We have a couple legislator Q&As, and then, as Shannon mentioned, that information session on the blueprint. So first, on Tuesday at 9 a.m. is the legislator Q&A with our chairs of the Commission on Race and Access to Opportunity. That's Senator Givens and Representative Timoney, and they will be we'll be having a conversation with them about, priorities that they will be, working towards within that commission this legislative session. And then at 11 a.m., we will have another Q&A with our chairs of the new Families and Children Committee, which is Representative Heverin and Senator Carroll. And both of those, you can see the registration links. Those are both via Zoom, so be sure to sign up so you have the link to tune in for those. We then at 1 p.m. have that blueprint information session, which will, give us an opportunity to really dive into those, I think it's 11 blueprint priority items that we have this year, offer time to kind of ask questions and to share more about each of those items, kind of where the priorities stand, if there's, a bill being filed, what to expect, what advocacy needs there are. So we encourage everyone to tune into that so that you can have all of the information you need before you head to the Capitol on Wednesday. And all of those events will be recorded. So if you register and you realize you can't make it, check back. We'll have the recording available, but we do hope you can tune in live because these should be some really great conversations. So on Tuesday, that also is at 2 p.m. when the General Assembly gavels back in for part 2 of the legislative session. So they've been on, a few week break here from their first week back in January. And so, there will be a lot of buzz and eagerness to get them back in session. So let's look ahead now to Wednesday. Now, this will be our first day back at the Capitol since 2020. In 2020, it was early in January, and, we heard about that thing called coronavirus, but we didn't really know the impacts yet here. So we still had that event, and we haven't had one since. So we're really eager to get back into the Capitol and do so safely. So on that day, if you haven't joined us before, or if it's just, been a few years, reminder to arrive to the Capitol building, with enough time to get yourself parked, with the reminder that there will likely be a line to get into the building through security. Be sure that you bring your ID as you're checking in. We did hear, if you're bringing any little ones, those who are under 18 don't have to have their ID with them, but all adults do, so that they can check in with security. And, as you're kind of getting settled in, find a spot for the rally, and that will get started around 10 a.m. So we, we'll have that big rally in the rotunda. We have folks who are, up on the mezzanine watching over, and sometimes even up on the third floor, which is really exciting. So if you're able to join us, be sure to try to grab a good spot. And we also, for those who aren't able to join us in person on that day, that event will be streamed on our Facebook page through Facebook Live. So we do, encourage you all to tune in as you can. We're really excited to be welcoming Governor Beshear, Senate President Stivers, and Speaker Pro Tem Mead to that event, and hearing remarks directly from some of our key state leaders, as well as youth and some other partner speakers, which will be really exciting. So we hope that you can tune in and join us for that. We then, after the rally, there's, between 11 and 1 is kind of an opportunity for those folks who are in the Capitol to attend our Blueprint for Kentucky's Children's Showcase, which will be up on the Capitol mezzanine. Another opportunity to kind of connect with KYAers and partners, Blueprint partners who are working on the priority agenda this year, and kind of, walk around, ask questions, learn more about those priorities. During that time period, 11 to 1, it's also a good time to, grab lunch or go to a committee meeting that may be happening during that time. I think there are a few that are happening, including the House Judiciary Committee. And then also, if you're able and have not yet done so, as Shannon said, set up a meeting with your legislator during that time, whether that's just a quick meeting in their office or, grabbing a quick bite. But set up a meeting with your legislator during that time period. It's, one of the best times to be able to connect with them while you're in the Capitol building. And just a reminder for those folks who haven't been to the Capitol yet this year, there have been some changes where the tunnel that would connect the Capitol building to the annex is no longer open to the public. It is only open to those who have a badge. So that means, if you are going to be trying to get over to the annex, you will have to walk outside and go through security over there in the annex. And so just kind of be prepared for, making sure your timing works out well there. There is thankfully opportunities, either to grab lunch in the basement of the annex in the cafeteria or in the basement of the Capitol building in that little snack hut. So kind of making the most of your time there between that 11 and 1 time period. And we hope, you're able to prioritize either meeting with your legislator or learning more about policies that are good for kids and families. And then at 1, we will have a reception up there on the mezzanine still where youth and advocates can connect with legislators. We'll have a short program and we've gotten some commitments from legislators to join us. So we're really looking forward to some of that, networking and one-on-one time for advocates and young people to be able to connect with their state leaders. And so we encourage everyone to join us during that time as they can. And then throughout the day, we will have our social media station set up, and we're really excited about that. And, we encourage you all to stop by that station, take photos, post them on your own social media, allow us to take photos so we can put it in our photo album that we post after Children's Advocacy Week. We're really excited about, being able to just see your lovely faces at the Capitol and being able to kind of capture that fun. So that's an overview for Wednesday. And, for those who've joined us in the past, we usually have, this big packet of papers with other, resources and information. I will say this year we are trying to go more paperless. So we will have a resource table up there on the mezzanine with some just key resources, but we do encourage, and Clarice is going to talk to us a little bit about that in a minute, to use our app that we have developed. And I know we have lots of downloads of that. So we encourage you to use that resource to know kind of what the schedule is for the day, find those blueprint fact sheets, access other information that you may need. So that's an overview of the busy day at the Capitol, and we are so looking forward to that. On Thursday, after we are all so exhausted from our fun day at the Capitol, Thursday is much more kind of a time to tune in to what is going on in Frankfort within committee meetings. There are several legislative meetings that are happening throughout the day, and it's an opportunity as you have time and you can commit to it to stream those meetings, to hear what they're talking about, at the House Families and Children Committee meeting, at the Senate Judiciary meeting, at the Senate Education and the House Health Services meetings those days. So, you can find a link there to get to KET to be able to stream those events, stream those committee meetings, and, hopefully hear some of the priorities that we talk about today within those meetings. And then on Thursday, our final event there is that our second of the coffee breaks with advocates. And we hope, that's just an opportunity to just debrief on the week, hear feedback from you all about how things went, and just an opportunity to connect. And then on Friday, we'll have our Celebration for Techie Kids video that will just have a recap of the week, and that'll just be on our social media pages. And we hope that, you engage and share that. So, letting us know what your favorite part of the week was and that sort of thing, just an opportunity to just celebrate the good work that happens. So, we on the app, there will be links and on this webpage to be able to tune into those, all of the virtual events and all of that. So make sure you save this webpage so that you have the latest information and don't miss out on any updates. And then just another reminder, if you haven't RSVP'd yet, to do that. And Kelsey, if you want to scroll down a little bit further, we have all of our partner sponsors, signature sponsors, and social media sponsors listed out here. Again, thank you to all of them. We appreciate their support for this week and for all that they do for kids. All right, so that was a lot. And it is going to be a busy week, but hopefully all of the information on this webpage will give you what you need to make the most of it. Now I'm going to turn it over to Clarissa, and she's going to share with us what the kind of to-do list for advocates to do, leading up to the week, during the week, and then throughout the session to make the most of what KYA has to offer for you all, and what we can do for kids. So Clarissa, I'm going to turn it over to you.
All right, thanks, Mara. Hi, I'm Clarissa. I'm on the External Affairs team with Mara. So first off, if you haven't already, you be sure to review our blueprint for Kentucky's Children Priority Agenda, as Kelsey has on the screen right there. She'll scroll down for you to see as well. There's our budget checklist, our fact sheet packet, just so that you can become familiar with the issues that we're working on for this year. We have a great checklist. Oh, yes, there. Thank you. We have a great checklist on our Advocate Toolkit page, which includes a legislator lookup tool. So you can look up your state senator and representative when their contact information right there on the left-hand side of the screen. You can find links to stream committee hearings on KET, as well as links to other LRC resources like committee schedules, bill information. And we send out a weekly wrap-up email every Friday. And so we really encourage you to sign up for our email updates, because you can get updates on events that we're doing, blueprint bill movement during the session, and more things. So it's a really great email. It comes out every Friday. You can sign up over there at the little orange square. We also have the bill tracker, which has a few blueprint policy bills listed and other bills that are good for kids. As Shannon shared, this is continuing to be populated as bills are filed and we review them. So this page will constantly be updated and changing. So just be sure to pin the page, favorite it, so that you can stay up to date on the bill status and ways that you can take action to help these bills be pushed forward. So there's that. Also, be sure to continue checking the Children's Advocacy Week page, because that's where we're going to share updates. You can view the schedule. You can see the list of the many sponsors that we have, as well as download the app. And so right there is the app. It is going to be your best friend during Children's Advocacy Week. We're going to be using the YAP app again. So it's really great. It's going to be a hub of all the call events. It'll be updated daily. If anything happens, you can get notifications. It can be used on a web browser or as an app on your phone. So if you just go to this link in view, or you can find the QR code and you can scan on the screen with your phone. It gives you tabs. It gives the advocates like info on sponsors, schedule of events, how to tune in, helpful documents, including our blueprint fact sheets, as well as an FAQ and an announcement section for daily updates and reminders. So reminders for your events and updates as maybe there's a room change, maybe there's a time change, maybe there's a delay, anything like that. That'll be in there. And then the links to the events as well. And finally, another shameless plug. I know we talked about it in the beginning, but please be sure you're following KYA on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. That's where we also will update you for things going on during call, but also what's happening in Frankfurt related to kids throughout the session. So if you have any questions, please put them in the chat. Our Facebook and Instagram are Kentucky Youth Advocates, and then our Twitter is @KY Youth. All right.
Awesome. Thanks, Clarissa, and thanks, Shannon. We appreciate that preview. And I think we can go ahead and turn it over to Kelsey to close us out.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm Kelsey Dimer with Kentucky Youth Advocates, and I know you all have received a lot of information today, so I'll be quick. We wanted to extend another thank you to Aetna Better Health of Kentucky for their support of Children's Advocacy Week. As you heard, we have a packed week ahead, and we are so excited for the opportunity to call on our legislators and make a real difference in the lives of Kentucky kids. As you know, we couldn't do this work without the help of the advocates like you on the call today. And we're counting on you to raise the importance of policies for kids and families and show up next week as we rally on behalf of Kentucky kids. As Mara and Shannon and Clarissa have mentioned, please be sure to register for CAW next week, and also download the app to start kind of building out your schedule of both in-person and virtual events. Also be sure to check out the blueprint for Kentucky's children policy priorities and find out who represents you in Frankfurt if you've already not done so. And thanks again for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you all next week.